I'm very excited for this series of StarCraft 2. It's time for a best of 3 of Terran versus Zerg, where, well, first off, in the top right-hand corner, in game number 1, playing with the red Zerg drones, we have none other than Dark. I've seen a lot of Dark games over the last couple of months. His opponent, though, somebody who... he pretty much disappeared into the shadows. He's widely considered to be either the very best player from Korea, period, or at the very least the highest ranked Terran. Playing right here with the blue SCVs, we have Maru. It's been a while since I've last seen Maru compete. He doesn't really play in a whole lot of tournaments. Historically, he's never really played in a whole lot of events. Usually, he only signs up for the biggest, well, tournaments that have ever been played. But right now, there's not that many large events going on. And, well, Maru has decided to, I guess, either just hide all of his practice or maybe take a bit of a break. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we'll be able to find out. Game number 1 is on Frostline. This particular series is from the Pigsty 5.0. It's a big shout out to Pig for sending over these replays. Very excited to go ahead and check out what these two have been up to. And luckily for me, I have managed to avoid spoilers. I actually don't really know exactly who ended up winning this particular series. Sadly for me, I do know about the final stages of this event, but this was played, I believe, in the group stage, if I'm not mistaken. And judging by the fact it's the best of 3, it should be in the group stage. And I don't know who won every single one of those matches. So, it's gonna be fun. If I were a betting man, I think historically Maru is the favorite. But the last few times, here's the thing. Maru hasn't been playing in a whole lot, and the last few times I did see him play, I wasn't all too impressed. He didn't quite look like the Maru that we all are very familiar with, at least over the years. It kind of looked to me like he hadn't been playing too much. So, since Dark seems to be at an extremely high level right now, maybe he's actually off to the military right now, which is another subject all on its own. This was played before that series that I cast recently, that best of 9 that he played. Anyway, it's pretty clear to me that Dark certainly has been putting in the work as of late. Not so sure about Maru, but I guess we'll find out. So far though, everything's very normal. Maru, of course, extremely good at playing that very passive style of Terran. He's never really had any crazy weaknesses, but like a year ago, he was playing that very turtley approach with the Mass Command Center a lot. It very much so is map dependent. On Frostline, you can sort of get away with it, but this is by no means the easiest map for that turtle style. A little bit of dancing, and the micro here on the Reaper is good. Gets a Zergling for now. Needs to be careful, though. Yeah, this is not ideal. Where are we going? Lucky for him, the Queen in the main base did not quite move on over in this direction. But that could have very easily been a dead Reaper. Zergling's now running out. Factory is going to finish up momentarily, though. We're a little late on the reactor. So we went for double Marine. That is why. Okay. Reaper into double Marine into a reactor, which means that the Hellion production gets halted a bit. These Zerglings going across the map, trying to see if maybe they can get some value done, but unlikely, considering there's 2 Marines and not just 1 for the base defense. Alright, ultimately though, we should see, oh, no switcheroo. Instead, we're gonna go straight into Attack Lab. So we're gonna, at the very least, skip the Hellions for the time being. Usually when you open up triple CC, you do kind of need Hellions. Oh, he is going to switch them over right now. I was going to say, this all gets very fishy otherwise. Reaper now also back home, and I believe that they will be able to kill these Zerglings. Alright. Yeah, so the Hellions are pretty significantly delayed. But we do get ourselves the Banshee out nice and quickly. And obviously at this point, Dark has seen 2 Marines rather than the conventional 1. So some small mind games. I don't really think Dark cares about that sort of thing all too much. He's not the most analytical player in that regard. Very much so winging it in a lot of those spots, and I think he's going to be just fine in this situation. When he sees Hellions coming out, though, he's now spotted them with the Overlord. He knows that there's not going to be that many of them, and if there are going to be a whole lot, they will all be a little bit delayed. But it's going to make it difficult here for the Zerg to figure out exactly what the build is of the Terran player. Zergling runs in because of it. Doesn't know about the Banshee. Cloak is also coming up here. It's about a third of the way done. A little bit delayed on the Cloak, but he should be okay. Generally speaking, Zerg will start up Spore Crawlers blindly around this time if they are afraid. Lair, however, is already coming, and I believe that that will be done in time here to make an Overseer. So Dark should be okay, assuming the Overseer is in position, and assuming that the Hellions are also not going to be distracting the Queens. Baneling Nest coming up right now for the Zerg. Yeah, and so far, Maru's not really achieving all too much here. I mean, it's by no means a bad start for him, but he's not really dealing any damage to the Zerg. Dark gets to do whatever he likes. It very much so, when it comes to the early game aggression, comes down to the next minute or so. Third CC is now landed. Banshees are now out in pairs. Factory has moved on over to add some additional add-ons here. Scan at the front, 6 Hellions in total, trying to distract the Queen. Overseer now is getting morphed in. Where's those Banshees? Maybe he saw them actually with one of those Overlords parked in the middle of the map here, but probably not. If he could get a kill on the fourth, that would be nice. Looks like Maru wants to go in for the big bucks. A little bit risky. No, he's actually gonna... I don't really like this pattern very much, even though Zerk is unlikely to spot it. Yeah, he didn't quite pay attention to his fourth base, because these Hellions, or these Banshees rather, didn't actually attack. Now he knows what he's up against. Thought for a little bit that he was gonna try and hunt down the fourth hatch itself, and maybe he's gonna try and do exactly that. Mostly just a distraction, though, to try and see if he can maybe get the Hellions in. Nice Evo chamber block. Couple drones will still fall from the other side of that wall off. Good split here, though, by Dark. Not sending all of his queens in that direction. He started up 1-1. Baneling speed coming up. And it looks to me like we're once more rushing Ultralisks. Yeah. I want to believe in the power of the Ultra. These are going to be quick. There's a good chance that Maru will not be transitioning towards Ghosts until the fourth base. And these Ultras... I mean, it's looking like Ultras at the very least, considering it's +1 melee and the timing of the Infestation Pit and the fact that there's no Hydra then. This should be an Ultra transition from Dark, and they probably will be able to hit the battlefield before any Ghosts come out. Now, I'm quite hesitant about this build. I never really like it, but there hasn't been a whole lot of damage done here by the Terran. Usually, if Zerk is in an even spot, especially when they're behind, Ultras are kind of garbage. This is not bad, though. I think Dark is feeling pretty confident about this spot. Burrow coming up. Hive now building. New hatchery up north. Maru does notice the Zerglings and Banelings in time and picks up, gets them out of there. Couple of Banes over here. Hello, Maru. Alright. We do see that there is a nice little red dot right there on the minimap. Okay. +2 begins. Needs to fire up the +2 Carapace as well. The armor upgrade there for those Marines. The Terran Carapace. Zerglings trying to see if they can fight their nemesis. Oh, God. It's a little ugly, but I think the Lings will win this engagement. Not really that many of them have died either. 2-2 here. Started up for Dark. Push over here up north now has been joined by a bunch of siege tanks. Banshee's in the middle of the map. Looks like there may have been a pause in the game for just a second. Burrowed Banelings, by the way, together indeed with an Ultralisk Cavern. These Burrowed Banes are not quite getting the lucky hit that they were hoping for. Looks like the hatchery, though, is going to get sacrificed here. Nice kill by Maru. Siege tank parked in the middle of the map. These Banes, they were hoping they were going to be able to get the best hit of their life, but I don't believe that that is going to happen. Nah, he's going to leave them in that position. Adrenal Glands coming up. And assuming Dark goes straight into chitinous plating and then he produces a round of Ultras, he's going to be able to get Ultras out on the battlefield when Terran is very much so still stuck. Oh, okay. Could have been a disaster. When Terran is still very much so stuck on Marine Tank. So we have a fourth command center right now building. Banshees, by the way, I'm getting a bit of value in over here. Second factory is now coming up. All of this is real nice. But I don't see a Ghost Academy yet, and that is ultimately what you do need most of the time against an Ultralisk transition. Ultras indeed are coming up now. Good surround here on that army. Oh, well, Banelings inside of the main base are going to be able to clean this up with ease. Push over here in the bottom right-hand corner. I mean, this is a high-paced game. This one indeed does get the Knight. Bit of damage all over the map. Maru is totally fine, though. No chitinous plating, which is crazy. That is by far the best upgrade. Now Maru will see the Ultra Cavern 2 for the very first time. He's currently building barracks 6, 7, and 8. Those will likely get tech labs on them. A lot of Terrans lately have been going into Liberator play instead. Dark's going mass ultra without chitinous plating. That's crazy. Chitinous plating is what makes these units good. That is the armor upgrade for the ultras. Now he starts it. Generally, though, you want to go for that upgrade before you even make ultras. The thing about Ultralisks is that they are on a timer. The longer he waits with them, the worse they're going to be. Terran is not going to get stuck on Mass Marine here for a whole lot longer. Good push here. Nice deny by Maru. Gets the kill on the hatch. Fourth Command Center now has flown over in this direction. And this is actually, I think it may be intentional. The Ultralisk here, hello, we do have to lift. I think the Ultras here may actually have just moved across the map without chitinous on purpose. It's a little funky for him to like get this upgrade so late. But it does mean that he gets an extra Ultralisk here in the mix. And suddenly the Swarm is overwhelming everything Terran. Dark flipped the switch and he's appeared with the big boys. No Ghosts, no Liberators. Second factory production has not really kicked in yet. Command centers themselves end up getting denied. Banelings blow up a ton of SCVs. There is in the meantime a counter-attack too. Looks like the Baneling nest got destroyed over in the choke point. More and more SCVs are falling. What a timing attack here from Dark. I can't quite make up if this was all intentional or whether or not he just decided, you know what? I don't believe that you have enough. If you're going to be dropping me this much, I don't think you have enough units at home to defend. So we'll just set ourselves up for a base race. And this is not a base race that Terran is going to be able to win. Against Pure Marine, Ultras are going to destroy. And now the Ultras and the Zerglings have made their way inside of the main. GG. I think at the end of that fight, Dark must have had chitinous plating. But when the engagement began, I'm pretty sure he didn't. That may be the first time in, well, 15 years of StarCraft that I see somebody win with Ultras and without chitinous plating. That's pretty crazy. Maru saw it coming in too. I think he sort of called the bluff. He's like, there's no way he's gonna attack before he actually gets all of this going. And I do believe actually Maru had all of the tools to defend that a little bit better, but he was caught way off guard. And suddenly, well, you find yourselves in game number 2, Amygdala. Pretty big map. A lot of expansions. This is, of course, the map with the 2 attack lanes at the beginning of the match. So at the very start, you only have the attack lane over here at the bottom, and then also the one going around the top. The longer the game goes on, the more of those rocks will be destroyed. The mineral fields can be mined out. These will despawn at about the 8-minute mark. And it creates a lot of mid to late game mobility, which is pretty sick. I'm actually enjoying Amygdala quite a bit. When this map was first introduced, I was like, this map seems kind of lame. Because you really only have 2 lanes. But it's grown on me. We've seen some nice matches on this. Wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I like it a hell of a lot better than King's Cove. Than Neon Violet Square. And can I even say this? Even more than Abyssal Reef. Yeah, I think historically Abyssal Reef has been a bit of a banger, but I have seen too many games on that map over the last couple of months, and I am more than ready for those old maps to leave the map pool once again. Anyway, looks like we're going to go for a pretty fast expansion with a barracks on the low ground. Maru taking a page out of the Protoss player handbook here. Trying to build a cybernetics core right now. There it is. It's basically a Terran cybernetics. Nice thing is, yep, this Overlord is obviously not going to be able to achieve anything. This is the real advantage of building the wall off on the low ground. Normally the Marines cannot shoot up, but of course that barracks providing the high ground vision there. Easy kill on the Ovi. And this alone can actually already really slow down Zerg players. Because you're not really supposed, quote unquote supposed, to be making 2 Overlords at this stage in the game. The supply block is going to be quite painful. So let's see. This time around, it looks like we're going to get the Hellions out a little bit quicker. Obviously, there hasn't been a Reaper in this particular match, so he did go double Marine just to hunt down Overlords. Honestly, though, I think Maru was playing well. Even though he lost that first game, that wasn't him just getting absolutely hammered, right? Like, that wasn't him just getting destroyed by the Zerg. Like, yeah, that attack from Dark looked scary, But it's also one of those things we don't really see all too often, and I can imagine that Maru wasn't quite expecting that sort of commitment. I think that's a forgivable loss. Also because he was actually doing all of the other moves really nicely. Like the multitasking looked good. He was a little slow on some of the pickups maybe, if I have to be very critical. But the multitasking seemed solid. Multiple drops at the same time whilst macroing at home. I mean, ultimately that also became his demise. Because he didn't have enough units at home to defend, but... That wasn't the playstyle of somebody who doesn't feel comfortable. There's a lot more passive approaches that you can make as a Terran. You can take a, well, very different route in the game. Play that more Spirit-esque playstyle. Where you just sort of hang out and make a command center, and then you make another command center, and then after that, guess what? You make another command center, and then ultimately you end up with about 30. Maru, though, is sort of, in my mind at the very least, like Spirit has been playing that style for a very long time, but in my mind, Maru is like the original architect. I don't even think that's true. But in my mind, he's the one at the very least that, you know, really brought that onto the map once again. A couple years ago at this point in time. Okay, so. Stimpak is going to finish up nice and early. Double NG Bay right now on the back of this as well. That is a really quick Stimpak, by the way. What exactly are we going to do with it? Looks like we're going to be building a medevac or two and send those across the map together with those Marines. Liberator going around the site. And this is one of those very technical Terran early games where you can just kind of produce everything from the Marines all the way up towards the battlecruiser within the first 5 minutes. And Maru is going for an economical focus, building triple CC and all the rest of it, but then still going Hellions, still going Liberator, still going Marine drop with, well, Stimpak and 2 medevacs. This is the real strength of the Terran early game, where you can just build so much. And there's a lot of variety. So the historical 2-1-1 opener with 16 Marines, Stimpak, combat shields. Or, not combat shields, sorry. The 60 Marines with Stimpak and then 2 medevacs. That build, it would hit at about 5 minutes and 10 seconds on the other side of the map. Depending, obviously, on the size of the map. This hits a little bit later, and obviously there's not quite as many Marines. I think usually you build a few more. But with that opener, usually, right, historically, you wouldn't go for any Hellions, and you also wouldn't have a 3rd CC. So, Maru is still being extremely sharp here. Only delayed by a little bit in that regard, but then he gets all of these other things in return. The Liberator as well, by the way. And this is a... I mean, he could make the Hellbats here. He does have an armory, doesn't he? I thought I saw an armory coming up. Okay, maybe I hallucinated. Hallucination? Oh, okay, there it is. Wow. I mean, now he's just making it the startup 2-2. Imagine if you could hallucinate structures, dude. I feel like that would be a Protoss move. Honestly, that'd be kind of sick now that I'm thinking about it. You open up with the quick sentry, you get the energy recharge, right? And then when the Overlord Scout comes in, you friggin' put down like an hallucinated Stargate whilst opening up Twilight? It's one of the many things Protoss has not figured out somehow. First of all, for some reason we can hallucinate units but not structures. Yeah, you can hallucinate a cannon rush. That'd be awesome. They also haven't figured out how to make a door. This is always one of my many questions. Terrans can like lower supply depots and stuff. Zergs can kind of make choke points and spread creep, so you don't really want to stand on... For some reason, the high-tech race in StarCraft 2, the one with all of the fancy technology and energy abilities and psychic manipulation and all that, they do not have a door. Does that mean if humanity evolves for a lot longer, we will also leave doors behind? Like, is this like a caveman ability of ours? I don't know, dude. I kind of like doors. Anyways, big attack coming in here for Maru. Counter attack as well, though, for Dark. Supply depot. Ooh, Baneling gets morphed onto the depot, so there's no way for that to be lifted off. Cute little move there by Dark. That means that this infestation of Zerg gonna have to be cleaned up by reinforcing units, but another siege tank falls, and I think a lot of SCVs are gonna be on the back of this as well. Tyranno, in the meantime, has killed a hatchery there. He's killed a bunch of drones, too. Reinforcing Banelings. Good splitty here, though, by the Terran. Does lose a bunch of Marines in the end. And lots of SCVs are actually falling. Dark actually getting a little lucky here. If he would have brought like 6 less Zerglings, he probably would have built like 4 SCVs in total. And now he's got 18. Reinforcing Lings and Banes and Queens are gonna be able to clean this up for sure. And while Maru will try and see if he can maybe still shoot down one of the ladies, this attack has been stopped in its tracks. There's already, though, a new push going across. And this is actually a really important kill now, because Dark doesn't have a 4th hatch. Like, he just lost his very first 4th hatch. This was originally the 5th. But, yeah, and this is an important kill. This is going to give Maru a massive tempo advantage, because Zerg can only do so much on just 3 bases. Baneling Nest itself is actually getting targeted too. Baneling Nest would be nice because it would shut down any sort of real all-in. Couple burrowed Banes, by the way, once more. Dark's been fishing for the lucky hits, not quite getting them. Okay. 4th hatchery will be restarted, but we still don't have a whole lot of creep in this area. I mean, if Maru can soft contain his opponent on 3 bases, that would be massive. 2-2, by the way, just about to kick in. A long time before the Zerg will be able to finish up those upgrades. Hatchery gets cancelled. New hatchery building over here on the left side. This is now a very significant deficit for the Zerg player. Maru's ahead in army, he's ahead in tech. And with the 4th command center now being ahead of the opponent's 4th base, he should be ahead as well when it comes to the economy. Now, I say that before the Zergling run by. Push over here is also going in very deep. There's a bunch of Marines inside of the Medevacs. They're now unloaded. Ooh, we're going very deep. I think Maru is actually overextending. Why are we here? There's nothing to be gained. He decided to just put everything onto creep for a little bit. Maybe he hoped he was going to be able to... Oh, no, no, no! What? Hold, what the... No way, dude. There is no way, Dark. He got the entire SCV transfer. That was 29 with 2 Banelings? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Dark got so lucky. He was so far behind. And now suddenly, with 2 Banelings killing 29 SCVs, he's, well, once more back into this. I don't think this is a comfortable position for the Zerg player, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was a minute ago. Whew, okay, Ultra Cavern now coming up. Adrenal Glands. Researching. Man, I'm glad I caught that on camera. I could have very easily missed that. It's interesting, I haven't seen any highlight clips or anybody bringing that up. Nobody has actually recommended a series to me. I was just, you know, these names. I figured, yeah, Maru versus Dark is going to be a banger. That's crazy. That looks like a clip that could have made it to the top of the StarCraft 2 subreddit, and I probably would have spoiled myself. But I didn't see it if it was there. Huh. Okay. What a play. Incredible play right there from Dark. Also, incredibly lucky. It needs to be said. Incredibly lucky play there from Dark. But it's exactly what he needed to get back into this match. Okay, so... we are once more going Ultras. We're once more going Adrenal Glands. Chitinous Plating will be researched. And now Infestors are coming up. So we already have a few of them. Fungal Growth into Ultraling Bane. I mean, pretty strong. No way. Did he actually... I didn't even... Wait, hold up. Where did they come from? Oh! He just... Wait, what? Did he... Hold up! Hold up right now. When did these even run in? Oh, they were burrowed? Dark had burrowed Lings all over the base. Normally this achieves very little. Just mostly a distraction. There's a bunch of burrowed Zerglings. I backed up like half a minute in the replay, by the way. This is so cheeky. This should never work. This is all within vision of Maru. He should notice the minimap notification. There's no way. Oh no. This is so clumsy. That's a ladder hero play right there from Dark. There's no way that is supposed to work at the pro level. I think Maru is maybe feeling the heat. Cute moves though. Really making use of the burrow research. Hello. We need to get out of here. Okay. So Maru had a really firm grasp on this game, and now suddenly we're finding ourselves in this position. Now, is this unwinnable? No, I actually don't mind this position that much for Maru, assuming it, you know, wasn't such a significant advantage for him a few minutes ago. This is still very playable, but it is forcing his hand a little bit. The problem is he can't really transition very easily towards, well, proper tier 3, like for example Ghosts, like for example Liberators. So he's gonna once more fight an army that is designed to kill Marines with Marines. We have some Widow Mines. There are indeed a bunch of Marauders in the mix, but I mean, Infestor with Ultra and then Lingbane to support. It's going to be very difficult to kill that with Marines only. And these Zergling run-bys are starting to be a real issue. I mean, starting to be is the understatement of today. They are a major problem. I don't think Maru is going to be able to win with these type of attacks. There's no way. It would require a very significant blunder from Dark, and I don't think you can really rely on that. So it might be important to go back home. Looks like one of the medevacs actually must have gotten Fungal to death. Fungal deals a small amount of damage. But he needs to get his eco up and running again. He's restarted the SCV production. That's good. 4th Command Center is now done. Barracks 6, 7, and 8. No, we have 7 here, which is a little funky. Normally, Terrans build up to 8. He must have lost one to the Zerglings. Either way, we need to go into probably a Ghost Academy. The gold base is a real opportunity. Okay. Medevac drop. Going around the site. This time around with 4 Widow Mines. And that has got real potential. They burrow very quickly. Cute little split there attempted by Dark. Gets only 4 drones down the drain. Not bad at all. And this is now turning into an amazing match, though. Because Dark is not ready to go in for the killing blow. I don't think he really can. And likewise, Maru has to be rebuilding himself up. Yeah, Planetary Fortress is now going to finish. There's Liberators protecting both of the ramps. Widow Mines are scattered all over the map. Fungal Growths have real opportunity, but I don't believe that Maru is going to be moving out here. I mean, he could, but I don't think we're going to be seeing like a full push. Keep in mind that we can see exactly what's going on, right? But these guys have to make calculated decisions. And there's a real chance that Dark may have not even seen that he killed all of those SCVs with the Baneling roll-by. He probably did, but it's not 100%. Oh, there's a big Fungal. SCVs, or Zerglings rather. Dealing damage there to the Terran army because of the Widow Mine fire. Another Fungal Growth will finish up another one of those medevacs. And there's the Ghost Academy. Finally. There's the 5th base. The medevac drops will continue until morale improves. But this is not an easy job here. Still though, I mean, if you look at this objectively right now, right, and you look at the minimap, creep spread is very mediocre. Zork has got 72 workers, but it's not ideal. It's not like they have a million bases here. Dark's actually still very committed. He's got some good eco. He's got a decent bank. But I don't think Terran can really call themselves out. There is a very real threat, though, to the way that this game is going, because Maru may actually believe that he is further behind than he actually is. At least a couple minutes ago, there was a very real possibility that that is what he thought, but he's totally fine now. Nidus Worm coming up. We really should definitely finish up that command center. For some reason, the SCV decided to get pulled away from it, or maybe it got denied, I'm not sure. Widowmine drop over here. Okay, getting some good value. Widowmine drop over here, also getting some good value. And suddenly, well, Maru's being Maru. Absolutely relentless with his late game aggression. This time around, the red dot on the minimap does get spotted. So we do have a Nidus Worm being popped inside of the main base. Ultras are now being followed up as well with a Lurker den. A lot of drones have fallen, though. A lot of aggression all over the map. Now a grand total of 39. Honestly, not bad at all. Neural Parasite coming up. The boost ability, the lunge ability for the Hydralisks. Ghosts have begun. Liberators are coming up 2 at a time. Ghost personal cloaking coming up. Additional CCs are building. All right. We're settling in. We are settling in for what is looking like a proper late game. Which is pretty nuts considering 100 workers have died this game. You'd imagine at some point somebody is going to be able to close, well, a game like that out. But both players are getting all of the luxury upgrades and everything that they ever wanted. No building armor and, well, high-sec auto-tracking yet. But I believe that that is going to be coming in a moment. Those 2 upgrades for the Terran planetaries and the missile turrets and stuff. Still very useful. I think the Ultras are a waste of supply. I know they won the game previously. Oh, Neural? But I don't think he really wants to keep him around for a whole lot longer. Fungal? Oh, big Fungal. I don't think there's really a follow-up, though. Yeah, Cloak is going to be okay. Then again, there's Overseers up in the air. Dark's a dangerous man. We got a 1-2. Push over here at the front as well. Those Ultras are going to melt, though, if the Liberators have any say in the matter. Nidus Worm going up inside of the main base, too. Dark trying to see if he can swarm his opponent, but those Ultras did not really get the value in. Ghost from the low ground trying to snipe this down, but not really achieving too much. Okay. The thing here for Dark is that he's trying to open up supply to transition towards Lurkers. Even though Lurkers are going to be harder to fight than Ultras, Maru already has Libs, he already has Ghosts, so I don't think he's really needing to change a whole lot. But Lurkers are certainly a more scary unit to be fighting against. There's, by the way, the building armor. Maru needs to try and see if he can get more of those bases going. I would love to see a more of an emphasis here on creep threat from Dark. Especially the middle of the map is looking very barren. Considering he hasn't really been attacked here over the last few minutes. We should certainly have seen a little bit more movement there. Okay, so. Vipers are coming up. Dark has decided that he's not going to try and attack their bases so much anymore, but he wants to kill any of these outer expansions. That's a planetary fortress down the drain and a command center as well to boot. Ultras are going to die here, but I think that's a good enough trade. Getting some value here and there. A lot of dead units, though. Nidus Worm, in the meantime, has unloaded a bunch of Lurkers. It's not that many, but I believe this is the first time that Maru sees them. Lurker from the low ground, or from the high ground, rather, going down to the low ground. Nice target firing there by Dark. Couple of ghosts here, derping into one another, but before the snipes can properly complete, the Nidus Worm is also a road to safety. +2 armor coming up. Hatchery building in the far bottom right. Keep in mind that if Dark can take one of those bases from the Terran and then also mine it out fully, it is a really, really important way of winning the game for Dark. If he can take an expansion from the Terran player, if he can deny that base, it's already amazing. But if he can steal it and mine it out fully, that would be one way to victory. Fungal growth is a real opportunity once more. Keep in mind that we do have a lot of command centers, but really not a ton of orbitals. Yeah, and he's lost a few of them too, right? So that's not ideal. This is not that, like, dozen or so orbital command late game that we've come to expect. Very nice. Nidus Worm over here. Once more moving into the natural. No drones available yet in the far bottom right. I would really love to see a transfer there from the Zerg. Sending a bunch of units in that direction. A Zergling, though, is denying this expansion up north. And honestly, it's very likely Maru is aiming for this one again next. And then eventually the one in the far bottom right. So strategically, I think this is going well for Dark. It's just that he doesn't have a whole lot of gas. A lot of minerals, no gas. Zerglings are good, but he should certainly be mining out a little bit more of the Vespine. Forward command center here by Maru. Feeling really confident about it all. Nidus Worm now in the bottom. Trying to see if maybe he can get some Lurkers around the side here, or maybe just knock down the rocks. Ghost, though, together with the Libs, are slow pushing through the center of the map. Marauders in the front as well, and that hatchery is going to get denied. The drone's heading on over towards the bottom right. Lurker's available inside of the Nidus. Ling's going all the way around. Command center attempt here once more at the 12 o'clock position. Here's that huge army of ghosts again. It's a lot. Keep in mind that they're all one supply more expensive than they were a year ago, which is one of the main reasons that this playstyle has lost a little bit of popularity, although it's still good. Zerglings are going in everywhere now. Dark, of course, with a ton of resources in the bank. At least as far as minerals go, he can certainly deny those and replace any of the lost links. Once more, forcing scans here all around, burrowing Zerglings whenever he can, just to be able to unburrow them and harass a little bit later. Lurker once more going in from the right side of this expansion. And I think Maru is actually finding himself in a really dire spot. Like, yeah, he's got a good army, and he can kind of just build whatever he wants. But also, he just doesn't have enough stuff. And he's not really capable of taking any of those extra expansions. Like, he needs another base. He does finish the command center in the middle of the map. But he's lacking that real Terran backbone, right? So, generally speaking, there's like a dozen command centers here, minimum, with the majority of them having orbital commands. And Maru is forced to make decisions now without being to, like, pre-scan, so he's not really able to pre-scan very often. And it makes it all a little bit messy. Another command center is going to bite the dust. We have an EMP from the Ghost. Dark knurling a Ghost to then EMP the other Ghosts. The best weapon to fight Ghosts is Ghosts. It's a move that Serral started doing a couple years ago for the first time, and it's got a lot of potential. This is now, well, going to slow everything down a bunch. You need a lot more energy on those Ghosts to be useful. Now that they obviously do regenerate it up to a maximum of 200, but if you lose most of the energy, we're gonna have to start again from scratch, and it effectively slows down any Terran attack by like 3 minutes, which is massive. Man, how did it all go wrong for Maru? Like, the fact that he lost all those SCVs to 2 Banelings. Imagine he would have lost half of those workers. I think this game would have looked very different. But now Dark can be absolutely relentless. Still though, if Maru can secure this expansion up north, and it looks like maybe right now he's managed to seal the deal, this is still very playable. I mean, he's still maxed out. He still has the superior army. It's just that he's not really just playing against this Zerg army, but then also all of the reinforcing units. Dark still, though, very low on gas. He really needs to be mining out those Vespene gas geysers. I'm not sure why he's not mining them. Anyways, Ling Bane run by over here. That's the planetary fortress going down. And maybe Maru has secured the expansion up north, but he's losing other ones. Very brave Baneling. Or very brave Ghost, rather. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, that stinks. Those Banelings were just looking for whatever they could get. They were basically written off already. And Dark ended up getting another 19 SCVs and an orbital command. Now a grand total of 69 Banelings have gone down. That's pretty nice. 48 drones, 124 SCVs. I believe, by the way, that's not the total of Banelings. Because I don't think it calculates the ones that have been blown up. I'm not exactly sure how the reasoning of the units lost tab works. But I'm about 99% sure we've seen a lot more Baneling deaths. Oh no, not again! Oh, dude, stop it. Stop it, bro. Oh, jeez. 141 SCVs have died this game. Now, you don't have to be a StarCraft expert to know that that is too many. I don't think you can get away with that. To be fair, if anybody can get away with it, it's probably Maru, but it's way too many workers. That's like 100 workers too many to lose. And that means that now the writing is on the wall. Maru effectively has to win this game with the army that he's got. I don't think Dark is even gonna try and fight him, though. No, Dark's just going in for the counterattacks. Couple more infestors coming up. Fungal growth obviously still phenomenal, and with one less orbital command, there's only 2 orbitals. It's the old main base right now that is trying to get the scraps of these mineral fields. With only 2 orbitals, how in the world are you gonna see a bunch of infestors tunneling towards you? The fights will likely have to take place on creep as well, so I can't really blame Maru for not wanting to attack here. He keeps the ghost around. The rest of the Terran army is in a world of trouble. Another Nidus Worm over here just to be a nuisance. Dark doesn't even really need this base, although obviously he wants to maintain this, if he can. Yeah, he's not going to take any chances. Lurkers do indeed unburrow. This to be a nuisance. Jimmy, no! Okay, well, Jimmy's gone. Alright. Nice snipe on the hatch, though. The fact that Maru gets a hatch there while being like 70, 80 supply behind is huge. I think Maru, yeah, tried his best. And he had a massive advantage in this game. But then the, well, SCV kills really started spiraling out of control. You can have one slip up, right? Generally speaking, at this level of StarCraft, one slip up is forgivable. But Dark is absolutely relentless. And ever since he grabbed the advantage back, he has not really let his foot off the gas. That's another expansion, by the way, going down, and that now means that Maru's mining is down to 55 minerals a minute. He knows he can't sustain it. A GG gets cold. It's Dark who obtains the victory. Incredible series. GG.